Last mark, 1, 2, 3. Hi. Alright, so I'm going to be starting this. I just want to set these bullet points so that we can talk about it. I'm going to be discussing and establishing the civil baseline, ASPD, and how it impacts us and society at large, the psychology of v2k, the dark tetrad, parasitic psychopathy, and narcissists, possible effects of v2k to us, possible effects of gang stalking to us, TI, targeted individuals. So I'm gonna just get right into it. Establishing the civil baseline, a democracy for the people, by the people. Ito ho yung Republika ng Pilipinas. This is a common baseline for everyone, for everybody in society, for us, the targeted individuals, and the general public. We, as a part of the public, that which makes the republic, are the makeup of the government. We, the people, tayo ang Republika ng Pilipinas. We just elect certain members of the public to government to represent our interests, okay? The government officials are part of the same public, the Republic of the Philippines. This is the foundation, ito yung pundasyon of society we're currently occupying, right? Within this social structure, we as a people, via our representatives, set the terms of what is harmful, what is constructive, what is peace and order. We, tayo, as a people's republic, share the same rights. The privilege, liberty, liberasya, at kalayaan, and freedom. Okay? Now that we've established a baseline for everyone in society, everyone in civilization, we are faced with a challenge, tayo. Us, the targeted individuals in the same general public. And the general public. Kumbaga, pareho tayo ng meron tayong problema. Okay? Ano ba yung problema na yan? There are private interests that wants to disrupt, basagin, the currently established social structure. Now, what is harmful? What is constructive? What is peace and order? What is peace and order of our already struggling social structure? Ang daming scams, ang daming ogag, ang daming corruption, right? They're successful to a certain extent, and they're successful because we, as a people, are estranged, para tayong hindi pamilyar to our own established social structure. We have certain logos, meron tayong mga simbolo, close to our hearts, even our wardrobe, pati ang pananamit natin. But we have, or rather, we as a people, okay, collectively don't have the foundations of our social structure, our democracy, readily in our arsenal. Now, what do I mean by that? In comparison for the US, for example, they plead the Fifth Amendment. What does that mean? Right? It's their right to remain silent or something. They know it's fashionable, they even know certain constitutional rights. Right? Now, there are ways that we can give us, our people, a grip into our Republic of the Philippines civilization. Meron tayong pamamaraan, para masabi natin, meron din kaming Miranda rights. Kaso hindi nga namin alam kung ano yung specifications. Meron tayong pwedeng gawing campaign. We can do campaigns. We can do donation boxes. We can hire ambassadors, etc., etc. We can talk about that in the chat. I would just like to establish the reality here. Alright? the civil baseline that everyone that's in society are or should be acting in accordance to what our foundations are. Ito dapat yung ginagawa natin para malaman natin kung ano ba talaga yung mga specifications ng Republika ng Pilipinas. Lalong-lalo na yung specifications na makakapagbigay lunas sa sitwasyon natin. The specification that would give remedy to our current situation. Us, the public, there is a challenge. I'm going to be talking about that in a minute. And the targeted individuals as a minority group. Alright? What's harmful? What's constructive? What and how is peace and order sustained? The law and the Constitution. Now that being said, the v2ks and the general public. No, the v2ks and the gang stalking in the general public are successful by some measure, shitty as they are, and coercing with the general public is because of a particular spiel, a play or script, right? I've spoken to Alvin about this, the admin of the GC in our network over there at Facebook. He's told me this. And I just, confirm my observations. Meron nga particular spiel na ginagamit para gawing o isuko yung sibilisasyon ng Pilipinas o kung nasang gaman dito sa particular private entity na to. I don't really want to get into it, but the important thing is to discuss, besides the civil baseline, everybody in society, especially us, should know our rights. Yes, specifically the ones that serve our interest in this particular targeting, in this particular scenario. By doing so, we would help ourselves, we would know our place in the Republic of the Philippines, whether or not we deserve more of its civilization, more of the people's support in comparison to the v2ks and the assholes, whoever higher ups they're talking with. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. But the important thing I'd like to discuss, besides the civil baseline, alright, is the psychology of the employed v2k. Or yung psychology ng mga nakukuhang v2k personnel. I would just like to assert that in a psychiatric point of view, it can all be summed up in one word. That one word is antisocial. Asocial and antisocial are two different things. Okay, asocial means ayaw mo makipag-usap. A person that doesn't want to socialize. Now, antisocial means a person that is anti-society, anti its laws, anti its right and wrongs, anti its morals, to put it short. Okay, so scientists, right, for years have studied people who has a particular affinity to being antisocial. Now, what does that mean? Meron silang particular na nag-gravitate sila dun sa isang particular one word na sinasabi ko. This is all scientific based. Wala tayong halong speculation. Walang theory involved. It's called antisocial. Mayroong gravitation yung particular population na to sa pagiging antisocial. And there's even a sort of golden standard when it comes to analyzing people who are antisocial. It's by a person called Robert Hare. He was a psychiatrist, yes. And the effective terminology, or what ended up being called, is the Robert Hare or the Hare checklist. That's the golden standard. We can use that and we can identify whether or not your particular v2ks are antisocial or psychopathic. This is essential because, yes, this is a standard. So, one word that can sum up the terrorist activity: antisocial, or in a scientific lens, antisocial personality disorder, or ASPD for short. ASPD is either inherited or nurtured. What does that mean? Namamana o nakukuha sa kultura nakakahawa. So it's either in the genes or it's in your friends growing up. You can fact check this. I'll be providing some resources on chat. Just look for it on the side over there at the side. Let me just get that on there and go. Yeah. So you can fact check that and see whether or not this is factually based or peer-reviewed claims. So, when it comes to psychopathy or sociopathy, the activity ng isang individual, right, at its base, being antisocial, has certain inclination towards 4 traits. Kumbaga, yung mga v2k mo, your v2k is gonna be based in 4 particular character traits. Very particular character traits. Now, this is relevant to us, TI, because of the personnel of the v2k entities, their roster, yung kung sino man sila, and how it's different from all over the world. Okay, I can testify to this event. All right, from Los Angeles, different v2k, American, to coming to the Philippines in 2018, Filipino v2k, American v2k, Filipino v2k. So may handoff na nangyari. Now, let me first enumerate and define the 4 para meron tayong structure. Okay. 4 character traits. Yung v2k mo at its base is antisocial. Please remember that. Number 1 of the 4 is psychopathy, or arguably sociopathy. Interchangeable siya, according to some studies. Both are officially diagnosed as ASPD, or yes, antisocial personality disorder. Number 2 is sadism, in accordance to yung consensus, about the consensus. An overwhelming amount of TI are, yes, being tortured, unfortunately, without any due process, unwarranted. Right? In this lens, sadism is the enjoyment of torture. Ngayon, narcissism, right? In our situation, this is entitlement. Oh, what does this mean? When you get the v2k, or if you're going to get the v2k, you haven't yet, what they're going to be arguing is, we have the right to be here, I have the right to extort you, I have the right to benefit from my particular occupation and exploit you. That particular sense, where it's coming from, is one of the 4. And this list is number 3, yes, narcissism. Okay? Number 4, kukumpituin lang natin yung 4, is Machiavellianism. Machiavellianism comes from a word from an author called Niccolo Machiavelli. He's from Italy. He was a kind of a political character over there. He was writing about how to sustain and manage a particular power that is based from a particular set of government. And it's basically, your v2k is going to be prone to manipulation to get what they want. Yun na siya, dun siya namumulitika, yung Machiavellism aspect nung 4 na to. I would just like to introduce to you the concept of the dark tetrad. Dark tetrad meaning 4. Alright? I would like you to remember the ones we've covered so far. Yes, I'll be providing the resources so you can fact check or review it for yourselves. Para meron tayong basihan, scientific basis, wala tayong theory, wala tayong halong speculation, meron tayong variables, and it's not based on anything other than scientifically reviewed findings. Ito yung 4 na dun lang sila mako-convince. Okay? Now, if it's just 1 out of 4, that is possible, pero usually it's gonna be 2 out of 4, 3 out of 4. Especially in this particular scenario where the v2k is manipulating our environment, etc., etc. That's called the dark tetrad. I put that on the chat on the side for you. You can fact check that as we get along. Their nature is antisocial. Hold on, excuse me, I just... Right. Their nature is antisocial. Their psychology and activity is condensed in a dark tetrad. Now, chatting with our fellow TIs, there's a lot of Why are they doing this? What kind of people are they? Right? They're animals. Are they animals? Are they demons? Now, I'm not going to brainstorm why exactly in a criminal or civil level, right? But on a level that's relevant, I think this one or this next one will fit as to why and what kind of people they are. If you can still call them people by the end of this, all right? There are certain people who like to take advantage of people. Yes, people who we can use the dark tetrad in analyzing. The particular ones, by all definition of the word, okay? Parasitic predator. Alright. Number one of those people are psychopaths. Number two, guess what? They're narcissists. It's more common than psychopaths. Just to give you an idea of psychopaths, 1 out of 100. In recent years, there's this meta-analysis of it posted on Reddit. It's been ramped up. Ramped up. It's been ramped up to 4.5% out of 100 to 1 out of 22 people are considered psychopaths, according to a recent meta-analysis. Right? Narcissists are more common. Here's a link. I'll give you a link right now. I'll put you on the side over here. Okay. Now, there are resources that argue, right, that these two from the dark tetrad are not even people. Biologically, one of those, literally, by birth, has a broken neurological faculty. Sira na yung ulo to begin with. That's why they're the ones that was placed there torment us. Kung sino man yung naglagay sa kanila doon. Diba? Yung affinity niya o yung gravitation niya sa pagka-antisocial, yun yung parang unanimous decision because they have a particular application about themselves. And it's a no-brainer in that sense. Because out of all the variety of humanity and whatever it features, ito lang yung particular population that's a candidate for this particular dedication or commitment. The psychopathy, the narcissist, parasitic psychopathy, or parasitic predators. Meron tayong link dyan, like I said, on the side. Now, the second is brought about circumstances. One is, yes, psychopathy. It's broken to begin with. Sara na yung ulo. Number two is brought on about circumstances. This being the narcissist, yes. But little does the narcissist know. Their activity, yung occupation nila, their occupation is a gateway to sociopathy. Yung nakuha. That's what they get. Okay? This is yung part na sinasabi ko, this is the part that I was saying that ito yung nakakahawa, this is contagious. Just to be clear, yes, psychopathy is inherited, sociopathy and narcissism is from the environment. Okay, so psychopathy and sociopathy are both diagnosed as antisocial personality disorder. So in this sense, nag-level up yung narcissists. Eventually, inevitably, hindi mo siya pwedeng mapigilan. It's inevitable. Yung narcissism, sabihin mong it's not that serious, magiging sociopathy siya because yung activity is antisocial, meaning anti-laws, anti-rules, anti-regulations, anti-right and wrongs, anti-everything that is normal in society. Antisocial, yun yung occupation. So nag-gravitate yung narcissist towards a particular personality disorder. So in this case, we have psychopaths grooming the narcissist to be antisocial so they can fulfill the role, turning them into an individual that would suit the psychopath's way of life. leveling up the narcissist. There's a particular term. It's called, or rather, let's put it in this way. This particular term is described as a particular government. A government of people who are composed of psychopaths. May mga sakit sa utak. Okay? A type of government. In this sense, since they're governing our lives, it's just apt to use this term. It's called Pathocracy. Pathocracy. This is a scientific psychiatric evaluation by a person called Andrei Lebichowski. He's written this political punerology around, I think it's the early 1900s, and he's coined this term, and I think this is a term that's just right in this sense, by definition and by its terminology. One word, right? Pathocracy. It's a group of people who are crazy trying to govern the Republic of the Philippines as the target individuals and the general public invariably. Now, are they people? No. They're not. In some psychological circles, people would argue that they're not. They're only subhuman, barely human. All right? Both psychopathy and narcissism are argued not to be people psychologically. But on a civil basis, we afford them rights. They are regarded as our constituents. They're regarded as people, which in this scenario, unfortunate for us, because we know they're antisocial. We know they're anti-society's laws, rules, regulations, morals, right and wrongs, etc. They're anti, which is why, to make better our lives while we wait for our justice from our networks of TI and from the Republic of the Philippines, I'm proposing to make effort towards making this known to the public. We need to make those who are antisocial known to the public to some extent, to discourage their effort in taking advantage of our fellow Filipino public, our TIs included especially, who has no idea that these people are not even people with everything considered. They're not even part of the Republic of the Philippines. If taxes was something that we're going to be basing it on, they pay nothing. Ask them for a DTI. Ask them for a BIR registry. Ask them for an SEC. Ask them for a local or municipal business registry. They have nothing. They're not part of the Republic of the Philippines. Also, I propose to make efforts to establish ourselves as a minority who are being discriminated against. Racism and discrimination is what we're facing even when we're in private. Most of the time, it's in public. And that is something that is not acceptable and should not be acceptable, especially if you regard yourself as a member of civilization. So not only to share our story, but to build a minority group who's way more functional, deserving of the Republic of the Philippines in a public eye compared to these antisocial characters who has no contribution to the Republic of the Philippines but disorder, chaos, slander, and promoting a state of mind that's going to be degrading the integrity of the foundations of our republic. Okay? We need to put the efforts in to make sure that we are in line with this particular foundation of our understanding, especially if we're trying to remedy our experience, especially if we're trying to collectivize or trying to put forth a direction that would take care of this particular problem. This problem is mutual. That's why it's easy to identify. What is it? People who are antisocial. That's one word. I'd just like everybody to remember it's just one word. Antisocial is something that would destroy any functional society at its core, at its basis. Now, I just like to thank everybody who came into the stream. I'm going to be wrapping this up soon. I will be talking about symptoms of gaslighting. I've spoken with this other TI, I think it was 2 days ago, about narcissistic grooming, because I believe this is essential. I have some information in relation to this, especially in this particular occupation that we're currently on. I'll be inviting him to stream. I don't know if he'll come along, but we'll hope for the best. Thank you everybody who's joined in, and I'll be posting this particular thing up in the channel. I believe it could be on my YouTube, it could be on the GC on Facebook, it could be on Discord. I might cover everything. Okay, well, thank you. I hope you enjoy the rest of your night, and you guys take care.